It's a structural problem, yes, but we have the law, which is meant to be implemented. I take a quote now, what the law provides, that a child under 7 is not criminally responsible for any act or omission. And a child under the age of 12 is also not criminally responsible for an act or omission, unless it is proved that at the time of doing the act or making the omission, he had the capacity to know that he ought not to do so, the act or make the omission. Now, a child of 12 and above is responsible for any crime committed just like adults. However, the trial procedures differs. Let's put a perspective, and look at the cases that have been handled, looking at these age grades I have mentioned. Is that really in place? Because what is the essence of having a law when it's not really well implemented?
On paper, you have these laws. On paper, you have both institutions. On paper, you have the age of criminal responsibility. But in reality, how is that determined? In reality, how is the law being implemented? It cannot implement itself in a void. The law speaks to nebulum without people who implement them. The people who implement them need to be trained to properly implement them. How do you determine if this child is 7, 12, or above? You can't just say it by looking at the face of the child.
They have birth certificates.
At the point of arrest, that may not be on their person.
But it takes a process.
It does.
If we're following the rule of law, it takes a process before you can trial someone for any crime.
That is true.
So that's enough time to find out what age that child is.
At the point of arrest, which is usually how all criminal administration works, at the point of arrest, depending on the nature of crime that the child is being suspected to have committed, let's take, for instance, felony, arson, or treason. The arresting officer does not have the liberty of asking the child for his birth certificate at that juncture. He only has to apprehend and to stop further crime, if that is what was going on. It is when these people are taken to the police station or whatever detention facility that all these facts are supposed to be elicited from them. Contact is supposed to be made with their parents or guardians, and from their parents or guardians, then these facts come out. Then after those facts have been established, the next steps follow thereon. But the problem that arises in these scenarios is some of these officers do not have this training. They pick up these children in the course of committing an alleged crime, so to speak. They only do what they know how to do. They bundle them to their available facility. If the only facility they have on ground is a regular cell and nothing else, that is the only place they can keep them. If they have no access to finding out the ward or the guardian of this child, then they leave it at that. That is why I spoke to training here. It's like any other sector. Specialization makes all the difference. Somebody needs to be trained to act professionally.